Recording is on.
So I think Hugh was saying that the daily practice is very important. Daily, the regular kind of keeping at it. It's like he was saying. It's like when you do a training for an exercise or something like that. It's constantly doing it is like a muscle. Exactly. He said that. He said that when you were losing your attention and bringing it back again, but you were not forcing it, but it was actually the fact that you were noticing that you were losing the attention on whatever the phosphines or whatever you were doing. It's the actual process of noticing it and coming back that is actually the exercise, more than actually the actual contemplation of beautiful yellow lights. It was this kind of constant coming and going that was getting stronger and stronger every time. I remember him saying that, and it did help me sometimes when I was trying to do it. Like a muscle, exactly.
Yeah, the thing about meditation, which I'm not very good at, it kind of reminds me of the seemingly pointless thing about taking a lavvo, which is a Sami tent, a round tent, big tent with a hole in the roof for the smoke from your oven. Bringing a Sami tent, a lavvo, up into the high mountains, the beautiful high mountains and the glaciers and stuff in Norway, just to put it up there and sit inside it, because when you sit inside that tent, you see absolutely nothing. It's just pitch dark, and you can't see outside the walls. So it kind of seems meaningless to go to a beautiful place with that kind of tent. You should have a plastic window tent or something when you're in the in the beautiful areas. So what I'm talking about is kind of sitting indoors on the floor doing meditation. It doesn't feel natural for me, at least not when I'm here in Greenland and everything is just 2 minutes away to go and watch the waves or watch the seabirds or whatever, or go fishing or something, right? So it also reminds me of my shaman courses. I paid for courses in central Oslo to learn from a Sami shaman. And my big disappointment was that we were sitting on this linoleum floor on the third floor or something of an office building with a Sami shaman. That was totally not good with me, because I believe you can't have a city shaman on the third floor with a plastic floor. You have to have some kind of a direct connection with nature, with the ground, with the real ground, and not sit on the asphalt or on the linoleum floor. So don't go to a shamanic courses in a city. That's not worth your money. You should do it outside in the mountain or on the beach or whatever, with a real shaman who is not just out there to earn his money.
I don't think there's many real shamans left anyway. I think most of them are just con men or women. Honestly, I mean, from my experience and what I've heard, and I mean, Jesus, there's an epidemic of them everywhere, and I think it's city shaman. Yeah, it's a joke. I don't know, is there any left? I don't know, maybe high up in Siberia and somewhere up in some lost places, but I'm a bit pessimistic about the fate of shamans and the amount of shamans that have emerged online or in London or New York.
What I can share is that
I've dabbled in meditation over the years, and I haven't really been successful in continuing practice. But I find that because I have a bit of I don't think I have exactly OCD, but um, I get trapped with rituals that say, okay, you have to be ready for it. It has to happen at this time. It has to be this long. You have to have a certain pose and a certain pillow, a zafu. So I get lost in the details of that. And my perfectionist mind says, well, if I can't do that, I'm not even going to begin. So that's why I really liked what Lord Hugh suggested. Just sit down straight, put your hands on your lap, close your eyes, and wait and draw your attention. You don't even have to have a mantra. In fact, I think he thinks that's kind of a kind of a con. But in any case, I like the simplicity of it, and it's not one big mental preparation that I have to psych myself. Oh, I have to do this. I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I have to lay down a zafu. I have to sit in a certain pose with my legs crossed. That's, I think that's it. It's like meditation 11, not even meditation 101. And also going south, I know that at some of the meetings, Lord Hugh did say that if you could meditate outdoors, that's even better. So there's no schism between enjoying the outdoors and meditating.
Yeah, that reminds me because with my Norse religion guys back in the day, around the year 2000, around there, we also had or my leader, my female Gudje leader. She would instruct us to focus on our individual fingers and our toes, and sort of focus all our attention on different parts of our body, and going through that. But that was also on a linoleum floor in the third um, third floor in a building or something. But then I got to do this in real life because of a real uh, bad situation out in nature. I had put my tent up in the mountains on a very nice spot. If you see if you view it, the big part of it was a good spot. But the details, how you would sleep there during the night, was totally awful. It was completely impossible for your back and for every part of your body and your legs and stuff to sleep on that 1 x 2 meters. So that resulted in me waking up several times during the night. And I remember when I woke up the last time in the early morning, there was like my body was like a a town hall meeting, because what I experienced was that every toe or part of my body would speak, quote unquote, to me and say, I have this and this bad ache, or I have this and this bad situation right here. And then the next toe or knee or whatever would speak, or inform my brain how it was doing. It was really really strange, because I wasn't trying to have a meditation or anything, or a spiritual experience. It was just how it was to wake up in a terrible place to have your tent. But in fact, my different body parts spoke as though they had taken the word, um, taken the microphone at different times, and sort of everybody listened to the little toe, and then the next toe started speaking, and basically I felt terrible all over my body. But it was strange. No noting how that really works. It's really crazy, and I guess it's because your mind can sort of really just focus on a certain number of signals from the body at one specific time, and something like that. But I was totally focused on on every part of my body sending signals there, and it kind of reminded me of sitting inside and trying to do this spiritual journey with my mentor in Oslo.
I guess I just wanted to say that some of what you said earlier really resonates with me going south. I find that I feel most meditative when I'm in wilderness and hiking, actually moving, like kind of a walking meditation. Um, I just am able to feel my body and the world around me better. I just think that's interesting. It's probably different for everybody.
Yes, it's kind of it's because nature or the forest or the mountain is not a destination. It's not a holiday destination. It's where we came from. It's where we belong, and that's why I think it just feels good to be in a forest and to walk through it alone at night or with friends or whatever. It's just it, it's a reminder of where we came from before we sort of settled down and before we made all this techno-industrial crap.
It's, this just occurred to me, but it's kind of interesting to think about. I was reviewing the Alien Cortex videos last night, just kind of thinking about this and thinking about the nature of straight lines and boxes, cubes, and human constructs of the desire for control. And it's really nice to actually be away from that, to feel that connection. So in nature, I think it's helped me, and I don't know what would or would not work for anyone else, but it's helped me to be in a natural setting where I can feel naturally connected to it. Help see through that kind of desire for control and distraction.
Yeah, that was crazy. The first time, the only time I flew to America, um, uh, passing over Greenland. But when we came down over, I guess, the southern part of Canada and into America, I flew for 2 hours or something over the grid that is America. And I'd never seen anything like it before because you could see it from 10,000 meters high. Everything was straight angles, country roads crossing 90 degrees on all the country roads or whatever. And it was like that, I think, from the Canadian border and down to San Francisco, where I landed. And it's like, oh my God, have they no fantasy in that country? It was really strange. It's almost like you can do a remote diagnosing a country on the psychiatric scale. You can almost see that the United States of America is a psychopathic regime from the air from 10,000 meters. I'm not trying to shit on America. It just was a totally new experience for me to see that grid structure so built into the very nature of the country. So I have to stop my camera. Uh,
Oh, we're so quiet. It makes me uncomfortable. But I was reading an email. Was it? Do you pronounce his name Alesh from Casabrin? And it really did depress me about the 6 degrees C rise. Sorry to change the topic so extremely, but I know he was asking about our group goals. So it seems like everyone's noticing that we're in some kind of identity crisis. So yeah, that's all. That's just a comment.
And can I ask, just for sake of conversation too, how do you mean identity crisis? I mean, certainly we have big environmental problems, but how do you mean that?
I'm just thinking that it seems that with Lord Hughes being gone, we are always questioning, well, what is now the purpose of the group? Are we supposed to save other people? Are we supposed to save the world? It's almost like a questioning of the role we have to play or the label we have to ascribe to ourselves, or um, that's all I mean. It's like I feel like we're kind of questioning things as far as how how should we go on as a group.
We should go on as we go on. I mean, we're going to see. We can't, like, we can't presume a purpose, a name, a kind of, end. I think we just happen to gather together around the personality of Hugh because he represented something for us at the time. We've traveled with him, a great journey. No, I don't know. Do we going to, what journey we're on now? Are we going to continue the journey without him, all of us together? Are some people going to drop out? Are we going to reach our way? But we don't know that. But I don't think we need to put ourselves in this kind of constraining thing that, what is our purpose and what is our role, and because we never did that before. So I don't see why we should. Well, of course we had a few ideas about helping other people and surviving and being there for, because most of us are anarchists and it's second nature to us to think that way. But I mean, the part of the mind that's giving this message, well, what is the plan and what is that I don't want to go there, honestly. I don't want to.
Yeah, thanks, Sophie. I know. I just like
Mm.
Cornfed has a really good comment about being interested in fellowship, shared experience, friendly challenges for development, and perhaps mutual aid. And yeah, I'm just thinking that um, it's almost like, yeah, I agree with you, and I just feel that there's this pressure applied uh, right now to us about um, asking what our goals are. And like you said, we never did that, right? It's just trying to do the right action and not being attached to the outcome. And I do agree that Lord Hugh was like, he called himself like it's like the center of the wheel, and we're like spokes. Um, so yeah, I kind of resist also having labels or goals that are
Yeah, yeah.
externally put upon us, that oh, now we might need to have more structure, or like ask what the group's purpose is. I mean, those are externally imposed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And you see, that's why the question I was asking at the beginning of the meeting was only about the frequency of the meetings, and maybe, that's all really, and maybe the time if some people want. But other than that, every time you step into structures and stuff, you completely stray from what we've been doing all the time, and what made it so um, enjoyable and alive and surprising and you know and chaotic and disorganized. So I think we need to stay there and just as I said, I don't know where we're going. I don't know, will we continue this for years? I have no idea, and I don't really want to think that way. It's just going to be, for the moment, for the time being, we're here together, and we've done we've had some good time, and might well continue to have some good time, and see how it goes, without thinking of the outcome. Um, that's the beauty of it, really. What makes it very different.
Yeah, and I also find that we're able to speak about certain things that are not acceptable in polite company, although there's still caution because we're being recorded. And of course, if we say something too controversial, the recording will be deleted from YouTube. But I've always felt that no topic is how forbidden, suppressed.
Yes, and no. I think I agree with you, but I think that we should try to not be a commentary for everything that happens in the news. It's like a lot of news is very local, very national. Very I think also you stress that a lot of times that we don't have to go in there and have a position on not adoption but abortion. Go in there and sort of uh, take sides in the war in Ukraine or whatever. It's like I would like this group to kind of have a bit larger perspective than sort of the day-to-day running of the White House or the Congress or whatever is happening over there. I know you talked a lot about the January 6th thing, the storming of the Capitol in America. And that has had a big revival the past weeks. Uh, and I think there was a good reason, to talk so much about that as he did. Absolutely, but yeah, there was a tragedy in the country I'm from a week ago, with somebody opening fire or shooting outside a gay bar in downtown Oslo. But I don't feel that we should sort of comment on everything that happens around the world. Just that thing I mentioned there. If you look at the American or British media, it's almost not mentioned at all, because this is what happened in Oslo is something that happens every day or every weekend around the planet. And yeah, if the news is full of all kinds of collapsing sense of society or sense of fellowship, and we can't. I don't think this group can go into all of it in detail. So yeah, I would urge everybody to try and have a larger perspective, or have a bird's eye perspective or something on what's going on. And also, I would like to stress that even though we lost our big guru, Lord Yu, and we're not kind of waiting around for a new person to come in to that role. And that's not how we're going to do it. And I found a picture the week after he died where you have a kind of a volcanic island or something that collapses in the Pacific, and then you get created an atoll, a ring around that, just a geological thing that happens. So in a way, this group has gone through a full collapse, uh, almost like the civilization collapse. That has transformed us from one guy talking like 95% of the time and to that guy never talking anymore, and we share the burden or pleasure of talking or being the guru of the month or whatever. I think that is an interesting development, and I think Lord Yu is smiling to us from his grave, when we're trying to pitch together this journey.
Thank you, Tostin. That was nice, actually. I think you're right there. I don't think we never really got attached to the news, to the daily news. I mean, I think the 6th of January thing, where Hugh was very shocked because he thought at the time that January we did a few meetings on that because he thought that America was going to collapse. So he was eager to he thought that was it. Like, so I think that's why. But other than that, I don't think we've never really been too attached to the. Actually, I don't think we've ever discussed the Ukraine war together since it started in the group, or even hardly on the sub, or any events that's reported by the main media, apart from probably climatic ones and weather, volcanoes, whatever things that we're interested in. But so I don't think we will ever go down that road. The daily distractions. Yes, we were never really very political either, because we know what that is. Yeah. Mm. But you're right. It's like we went through a collapse, and that's a great lesson. It's a great lesson to lose a teacher, master, guru, a guide, whatever you want to call it. It's a great lesson. And I've got the shock waves, I think, and they're going to continue for a while. I'll be very interested to see where we're going, but we're doing not too bad, I think, altogether. There's been someone new joining today. There's also some people who have come on board, like Alish and Jason, who never really appeared. Zoo is coming only recently, even though I think he was active on the sub or presence. And so, there's a lot of I'm very curious. I'm just keeping a real open mind, and I just don't want to make any plans. I'm really waiting with eagerness to see where we're going to be, where we're going, and all that. It's very fascinating. It's fascinating what's happening.
Well, I just wanted to say the idea that, which sounded like it had a lot of acclaim, of passing the guruship around, kind of naturally adjusts for these things in a way. I think that would be good for everybody in the group. I just think that sounds like a good approach to having everyone's concerns kind of lifted, and also having the group tenor of not getting deep into some political detail. It'll help avoid that. Anyways, good sleuthing. How did anyone find my name? That's pretty great.
I wanted to say something about a video that was posted on the sub. Can I just change subject for a moment? I've listened to it. It was by, I can't remember who posted it. Should. But anyway, it was Meg Whitley, and she was talking about, she was a woman who was talking about her attitude to collapse and parallels she was drawing from her spiritual experience. She seems to be more of a Buddhist type of background, but she I don't know if anybody listened to that video. There was I was sometimes a bit I was sometimes put off a little bit, but altogether she had some very interesting things to say. It was quite long. Did anybody watch that video? Okay. No, so never mind. We'll go back to the comments on under the video. So
Would
okay.
you like to present it? You know, it sounds like interested in conversation.
Right, but I only listened to it once, and so I don't. I might be missing some stuff, but that woman is probably my age. She's a mother, grandmother, and she is seems to be a teacher of spirituality on the line of Buddhism, and she calls herself some sort of warrior. She her what's interesting in the video is that she's totally a doomer. She has absolutely no problems with that. She's totally admits to that. She doesn't even want to go into any hope or any destiny, or you know that something is going to come out of it, and that we, because usually the people from that sort of where she comes from are kind of coming to the conclusion that all this makes sense somewhere, that there's going to be some kind of meaning to it all and all. But she managed to be at the same time a total doomer, but also not fall into any traps. And I like that because very few people of her type of training are like that. She mentioned without a whimper, well, some of my grandchildren might be wiped out. You know, just matter of fact, because she's considering. She was talking about the addiction to technology and the way people are addicted to our lifestyle and what will happen in collapse. There was some other things that were quite interesting, and I can't even remember because my mind is was gone on. There was something, yeah. If you give me a few seconds, there was something. It has to be watched really because she's. I wouldn't be completely 100% gone on everything that she talks about, but I think it's a good one. I can't remember who posted it. Was it you, Bob, or was it DB? I can't remember. I'll have a look. No, no, no. It was somebody that I don't know who it is. Yeah, Socks Puppet. I'm not too sure I know who it is, but it's another voice that I didn't know of. Meg Whitley, her name is. No, Socks Puppet is not Andrea. I haven't heard from Andrea in a long time. She used to be another name, but I can't remember which one either. Mm. Listen, we can discuss that another time if more people have time to watch that video. But it's not something that's life changing or by revealing in by any means. But I thought it was kind of interesting. You'll see yourself. You'll see for yourselves.
I'd like to go back and watch it. And for conversation, it sounds like what you're saying was, and tell me if I'm wrong, what you're saying was really interesting was her lack of attachment, her kind of ability to embrace this reality without being hung up by it or and its implications. You know, what did you find interesting so I can keep an eye out for that?
what I found interesting is that she comes from a line of people who usually don't talk like that. And I thought that for the usual, you know, Joanna Macy or other Buddhist women and certain men too of that kind of collapse aware groups and all that are usually, there's always a little tinge of religion or hope or some kind of something that puts you on the wrong, for me, on the wrong track. But she stays very, very focused. She also is very bent on mutual aid and being of service to others in collapse, which is really interesting too. She develops that in a story too. You'll see yourself. But I just wanted to mention it because I listened to it recently and it was still with me. We'll see. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'll listen to it and then join the conversation on Reddit.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that my computer?
It seems like it might be one of the R's.
Okay, if there is not much inspiration and we don't have to do the 2 hours as usual. You know, we always have been sometimes 3 hours lately. And if you feel like we call it, I can stop the recording whenever you tell me. I'm a bit dry there, to be honest.
Well, I just want to say, that's okay by me. This has been a great introduction. I've appreciated hearing from folks, and I really appreciate the conversation that I've seen, online and here so far. So thank you all for that. I hope to attend in the future, and I'll be around.
Thanks. Does anybody want to say something before I stop the recording? I think.
Yeah, can
No,
you
that
hear
it's
me?
just good to see all of you.
Okay. Yeah, I would just like to say that I'm heading out for a big fishing tonight or early tomorrow. So that's going to be the official start of my outdoor summer, I think, tomorrow. Yeah.
To answer the question for Risa, we're going to see when is next meeting and what frequency and all that. So for the topics, what we usually do is that people put some suggestions in the comments under the announcement of the meeting. So then we get some ideas for the day, you know. And good luck for your fishing, Tostin.
What are you fishing for?
It's the the big mountain trout. They're coming down from the lakes and down the rivers and into the big fjord. So it's about this time that they can go out into the saltwater fjord and I don't know, maybe they cross the Atlantic or whatever they do, but they always come back to the same river when they're going to, spread the row or whatever. Make little ones. So yeah, and it's like just crazy with fish up here. You don't need any skills at all. The only thing you have to do is try to hit the ocean with your line, and if you can hit the ocean, you get a fish. That's basically it up here.
No skill is my kind of fishing.
Yeah, I found out when I moved from Norway or from Scandinavia that it wasn't the lack of skill for those 40 years I tried to catch fish down there. It was the lack of fish, basically, and less fish for every decade due to climate and pollution and everything. Yeah, so up here it's really easy to be a fisherman.
Okay, shall we hold still for a few moments before I stop? Would that be okay?
I'll hop, but I'll see you next time. Thank you all.
Okay, let's see you on the sub anyway, and I'm going to stop recording. Bye.